Welcome back, Little Smokies. We're going to talk about the Wade Wilson case, aka the Deadpool killer. And Simone actually brought us some cosplay today, so hopefully you guys like what she did. Or maybe not, but we're happy to see you back with us, and let's get into it. And welcome back, everyone. There she is.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Oh, let me sit straight so you can hear me when I
Sit up straight.
speak into the microphone.
Speaking to your microphone. Yeah, no, I was just checking mine to make sure it was actually on and working this time.
Yeah, we apologize that Kitty had technical difficulties last time. Not all of us can be as prepared as myself.
Yeah, I suppose if you guys haven't gathered it from the thumbnail or the title of the video,
the thumbnail? But I get it.
You're a thumbnail. That's what a thumbnail is. Do you want to let the audience know what you've done here for us today?
Yes, and hopefully, hopefully no one's offended. We're not making light of this story. I just thought I would embrace it with my creativity, which I think I did a great job.
I do as well. I think you also had a great reception from your child.
Yeah, she asked me what was wrong with my face. So that was nice. Pretty nice. No, so we're going to talk about Wade Wilson. Katie figured it out halfway through the research that it's not the person in Deadpool. Right, Katie?
Okay. Let's just be honest here with everyone. I think that's, you said we should cover, you threw out a couple of crime things that you found on TikTok, right?
Yes, I sometimes get baited.
You did. And you sent me these things saying, hey, we should cover Wade Wilson. And I said, okay. I looked up a couple of things. Oddly enough, when I looked it up, nothing popped up the first time around. I watched a couple videos and was like, wow, this would be a great story to cover, considering the heinous crimes he committed and what's happening with the sentencing. Because that's pretty recent. So, needless to say, when I go diving in to do the research and note part of our podcast, pre-recording here, I started taking notes down and may or may not have started reading into this early life story of Wade Wilson. And I got to a certain point and was like, this is kind of crazy. It was about Deadpool.
What gave
and I've
it
never
away?
seen the
What
movie.
gave it away? Like what part
I
did
don't even
you
remember.
get to
I think
where you're like, wait, this isn't right?
I think I was scrolling through the article like as I was like noting things, and I'm like, well, what age did this happen? Because I remember reading a couple of things off of Reddit, which is where I got some of the details that we're going to share today off of. And I thought some of these timelines aren't adding up with some of the things that they're saying here. And I'm like, what? An assassin and all these things. I'm like, this doesn't seem right. And I remember scrolling down in the article and then seeing like the Deadpool thing and pictures and stuff. And I was like,
not right.
Never seen the movie. Wonder what this character's actual name is in the movie. And
you should watch Deadpool. But Wade Wilson is called the Deadpool killer. Or did he like call himself that, or is that a name that the media gave him?
I'm actually not sure. I can see if I can find it. But I don't know if he might just be the media because
that term.
I think it might just be the media in general. Let me see really quick. Might as well. It's not going to hurt anything.
The media. I'm just going to make sure I have my old notes up so I can be accurate. in my viewings.
See, and all I get are things like who turned Wade into Deadpool, which isn't helpful, even though it was very specific with my search. Now, yeah.
But regardless,
Who gave Wade his powers? Yeah, we're not gonna find.
we're talking
It's
about Wade Wilson, the man who. What's the word to say? You can't say the M word. Unalived. He
he's a criminal,
unalived
I
two
guess.
people. That's what you're supposed to say. Unalived. That's kosher.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
See where I was
That'll work.
going with it now? Yeah.
I see where you're going with that. Yeah. So he did. He unalived a couple of people who did not deserve that. We'll talk about that, and also assaulted somebody else, and he's had a quite the
Yeah,
rap
so
sheet.
very terrible person, but thought I would get into character. Just my face, though.
Just a little cosplay.
Yeah.
We'll take it. I mean, we don't really give much else as far as that goes. But we figure we'll talk about this whole case because he was recently tried and
Sentence, he did.
well,
Or
sentenced, I
maybe
guess, or no. I don't he was convicted, but he's going to be sentenced in August.
of maybe the death penalty.
I think that's how that
Yeah.
works. Yes. So, well, spoiler alert, everyone. Not that you can't look it up yourself if you can find anything that's not Deadpool related. So we thought we'd take you guys down the little path around what happened with this and why this is such a big deal. And I was a little bit surprised with some of the things that I found. I'm going to be honest. I'm over here looking at my notes and I just.
With your actual evidence or your Deadpool research? Which one are we talking about?
We're talking.
If Katie didn't notice,
we're talking about the actual thing we're here to.
We'd be spewing out facts that were correct.
So, no, I did not include. I deleted all of the notes that I had started.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Good.
So I should have saved it, just. But I figure we could talk about who he is and all of that. One of the things that I thought was really crazy, though, was it was incredibly difficult to find his date of birth.
Why?
I don't know why. Maybe it was the way I was
Well,
searching. Because it kept pulling up
I
crap
was gonna
about
say
Deadpool.
maybe it was a user error. I don't know.
It might have been.
I
It
can't
might have
believe
been.
this
But
fool
thankfully,
was born in 1994.
that is what I'm saying.
That's so
I
crazy.
feel so old. I'm like, there's no way someone's, because you look at them and they don't, I mean, they look older too. So it's like, what? How old do I actually look? Audience. Also, thank you for coming back, by the way. I guess we just kind of started getting right into it.
Thank you for coming back.
Level of professionalism we have.
Well, we're just.
Hit us with a like, hit us with a subscribe, hit us with a comment around what you think. Good, bad, in between.
We'll get some interesting comments this time. Yeah, we'll see. That's the hope. We can get some engagement. So, like us or not, let us know what you think. But yeah, he was born May 20th, 1994, which is, I don't know, seems young, but it's really not. How old he's
is that?
like 20.
30? Well, it's 2024, so it's 30.
How'd you do that so quickly? No, I don't think that's right. And you're so positive about it, and I don't think you're actually right.
I'm pretty sure.
Calculator.
Pull out that calculator.
1996? 4. He's 30, like I said.
Oh, good. So he's 30. Got it. I found out a couple of things that his biological parents were teens. So, and when I say teens, I'm not even talking like 16. It was like 14 and 15.
You can't imagine.
super young, super young. His mother battled with addiction. Uh, Ended up apparently going to church. Actually, I should have dug a little bit deeper into that now that I'm thinking about it because it's like a little confused. But apparently, his mother went to church with the Wilson family. And so they, in turn, adopted Wade.
Ugh, that'd be so
So,
terrible to adopt a kid and then they end up unaliver.
oh, an unaliver. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
That'd be
pretty.
rough because
I wouldn't say it has anything to do with the family,
no, I'm
though.
just saying that would make me nervous to
Then-
adopt. Because what if they grow up to be like, what was his name? Ted Bundy.
Oh, well, I guess he kind of.
Did
I don't know if he did and to that degree, but I mean, yeah, he was a terrible person. Just same. I think that's pretty bad. But I couldn't find anything directly of when he got adopted. There was some conflicting things in articles and interviews that I had seen that were written out, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to try and date any of this stuff. But his adoptive family did say around the age of 13, he started acting out, essentially.
13?
I feel like it's a common
Yeah,
age,
I
right?
mean a 13-year-old boy. Yeah, I've been around some 13-year-olds. They could be something else. I myself was a
Yeah.
great
I've been around some 5-year-olds.
Hey, is that a shot at Burble? She's 5.
What? No shots at purple. Okay. Thank you
I'm
very
gonna
much.
tell her after this.
No, but I mean, how old were you when you were in the dumbbell or dumbwaiter or
Dumbbell.
whatever? The dumbbell.
I was like 16.
Oh god.
It was last year.
So not
Just
far
kidding.
off. What happened in that what happened to that 3-year span if you were such a great 13-year-old?
I
I'm
was
just
a great
wondering.
16-year-old too. Just because I ditched class.
The fire extinguisher situation?
Yeah.
I guess you didn't leave
There you
school,
go.
so
Yep.
there's that. Uh
Yeah, so it wasn't even ditching.
Okay, so as far as it goes, at the age of 13, his family said he was described as being, what is this, reclusive, paranoid, and by his own admission, was a drug user. So he even said, like, at that age, that's when he started
Right.
using drugs.
At 13. It's
Didn't
crazy.
really say. Yeah. There's records of his paranoia going to an entirely new level, too. So apparently, at some point, he was doing a bunch of drugs. I don't know if he had been up for a bunch of days or what happened, but he was super paranoid and was convinced people were in his garage and like trying to break in. And so he ended up calling the
He did.
police. I mean, he was telling his family and stuff too, and his parents were, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him. Yeah. And the police came and were like, nobody is here in your garage. You're tripping. Well, his adoptive father had found out that he had done drugs and had him detained.
This is when he's still 13.
So this was actually called, yep. It's called something in Florida, but there's this Florida state law that if a family member or loved one is what it's referenced as, and I'm like, well, what qualifies as a loved one? Obviously, I know what I qualify as a loved one, but I feel like doesn't that vary from person to person?
Yeah, I would think so.
You could just be like, yeah, I'm his neighbor. I'm the loved one. Like, I
I'm
don't
sure you
know.
have to have like proof.
But essentially, it enables proof of being a loved one.
Well, like,
How do you, what would you do?
I think you.
How'd you prove that
I
you're a
just.
loved one? If you're not a spouse or a direct,
Well, yeah, I think you have to be like a direct, the next of kin. Like in the.
a descendant.
Yes, that's exactly what it.
So if you're not, you can't be?
I don't know. Do you have a loved one that's not a family member? Who? Me?
Yes. Yeah, the person who would sell me for $2,499, like, I don't know. No, but I mean, I have people in my life that I would consider loved ones, but also would
So you
not.
didn't answer the question, is it
I don't
me?
know. I'm not sure I'd give
Would
them.
you give me permission to detain you?
No, I to detain me. That's what I'm saying though. That seems like a little loose, a little fast and loose. You know,
Well, maybe they have the
I don't like
laminated
that. But
card.
at any rate, this Florida law, an official loved one. Yes, I'd like to.
A
I'd like to
badge.
cash in my voucher to have my love.
Sorry. Go
Okay,
on.
so um a badge, a vest, a whistle, anything of that nature, you're all in. Like,
Absolutely.
so this law enables. I never go get. Nobody's gonna know.
You've already said the law that allows them to be detained, and you said you don't remember the name of it, which seems funny that you didn't put that in the note.
Well, technically, provide emergency mental health
And
services
yeah.
or temporary detention, but it's only for like a
Hmm.
day.
Alright. See, I let you finish.
If someone really needs to be detained,
I
is a
don't
day
think so.
enough?
I mean, I would like
No.
to be detained for,
Oh.
like, a day.
I guess I'll let you detain. I guess I'll list you as a loved one and be like, she can,
Just for
you
a day.
know, I'll report back for everyone. But outside of that, it seems like I don't want to say that Wade took some like turn for the better, but in school, he actually had average grades. And here's my shocked face, he excelled at
What
sports.
sports did he play?
I mean, oh, I didn't look into that.
Well,
I've looked into
looks
what I
like our
consider
research
important. I'm not.
department's getting a little spotty on their work. Or is it called shoddy? Shoddy! Shoddy!
It could be either.
I'm poking holes in your research.
it I don't know that you're poking holes in it. I just said I didn't look into that.
Continue. So he was athletic, but we don't know.
You
We
could
don't
look
know
it
what
up.
sports he played.
No. I imagine he probably played football or
Well,
something.
if I
Who
Google
knows?
what
But
sports did Wade Wilson
nonetheless,
play,
he
it's
was.
probably gonna say Deadpool. What sports did Deadpool play? Did
Do
Deadpool
it.
play any sports
Let's
when
see
you
what
did all your
happens.
research?
I want to see. I'm curious.
Did Wade
I didn't search for that.
Wilson Let's see. Did you Oh no. Okay, this makes a lot more sense. It says Wilson selected by the Minnesota Vikings in 1981. I'm like, "What? That's not right." So I
No,
don't know. Go ahead, continue.
he wasn't even
This is
born
a different
still.
person. Apparently, Wade Wilson is a very common name.
That's unfortunate. Also, Deadpool's name. So I'm shocked that you didn't pull something up that said something about his sports career if he had one. My only thing is all of these, not all, but a lot of these like crazy people have some sort of like athletic ability or hidden talent, or they're like super smart or something, but then they choose to use their
Yeah,
power for evil. I just don't.
what a waste.
It's disappointing. So uh throughout his sports career, he received, they say multiple head injuries. I'm like, what exactly do you mean by that? Like, I have knocked the shit out of my head before, even just in the kitchen, due to pure negligence and an open cabinet. But it was a serious situation
I hit my head
nonetheless.
on those shelves.
I very well could have
Yeah,
been concussed, but in high school sports, he didn't go to college, didn't do any college sports, so it's not that level.
yeah.
How many head injuries did you sustain in
You
high
could
school sports?
yeah, I don't think that they would let you do that. False.
Like, continue to?
Yeah.
I don't know. But at any rate, they say that he sustained multiple head injuries, and they think that what the defense is trying to do is paint him in a light of having some sort of brain injuries that caused him to be this way, which we'll get into that. But uh, just keep it in mind that they're already starting this narrative and there's already this thing of like, oh, he had head injuries. At age 18 and 20, he had separate serious car accidents, one of which he hit a tree,
Wow.
dude. Well, I mean, yeah, because obviously the tree didn't hit him. So, but he hit a tree and sustained a really severe head injury, and apparently had a bunch of CTs. No MRIs though, which MRIs will give you a much clearer picture of what's going on and they could see more things, but typical hospitals not doing all the things they need to. Nothing was found outside of a concussion at that point. That's all he was ever diagnosed with was you've been concussed.
But
That's
how
it.
many times before had he been concussed? We don't know.
Well, that's the question. Plus, I would think that it's very difficult to make this kind of case because you don't have, I'm assuming when they said that they didn't do an MRI then, that they don't have any pre-serious head trauma scans that they can compare it to even see if that made any difference. Like, I don't know. That's just what the logical side of me thinks, but who knows? I'm not a scientist or a doctor, or this is completely our opinions, which nobody asked for. But we're doing it anyway. Deal with it. So all of this is happening, right? And at the age of 18, Wade actually ended up getting back in touch with his biological father. So all those years he had never been in touch with him, and then at the age of 18 starts,
He'd reach out to him for
talking to him again.
money.
Yep, money. Which the age of 18, 19, 20, you can't blame the kid, I guess. I mean, given the type of life he was choosing to live, not so good, but we'll get into that. So outside of that, that's early life for Wade. Any questions, any comments, any concerns, cosplayer?
No, Your Honor. Your Honor.
I really do feel honored now. Wow. He did have some early crime though.
Yes, he did.
Crime.
Assault.
Do you want to talk about his early
In
crime?
2010, is this what you're talking about? 2010. So
His
how
early
old
crime?
was he?
In 2010, so I don't know, 19 maybe?
Yeah, good job.
Is that
I
right?
think so.
No, that's oh,
We'll just go with that.
Just double check.
So it said,
Continue while I double check.
So in 2010, he was in and out of jail for assault and fraud.
16.
He was 16.
So way off.
So assault and fraud.
Yeah. Sorry about that, everyone.
20 different crimes from in that period of time. 20 crimes. That's crazy.
That's a lot. But in his or anyone's defense for that matter, it's not his defense, for the record. Not defending this individual. But you could get like 3 charges for one thing because it's like.
But it seemed pretty serious, assault from fraud to assault. But not too clear on all the details because the research department didn't feel like they should dive into this part of the section as much as the other things.
In my defense, gosh, it is so hard to find criminal records for someone with his name. It really is. No, it had nothing to do with Deadpool, but it has to do with how common that name is, and I was having such a hard time.
Yeah, you did a great job. Great job.
Do you see the mixed signals you're giving here? You're like, our research department's trash. They're the worst thing we've ever seen. But also, you could help the research department.
I do.
It's an option.
I'm the personality hire.
Nobody's getting paid. So you've been hired.
I volunteer my services for the personality.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We all appreciate it. Okay. So let's get to the unaliving.
Yes.
to your
Can't say
point,
that.
let's not talk. We're not gonna, yeah, we won't say that. So this date kind of shocked me because, of course, the court case just happened end of June. And so I was really surprised to see when this all
Yeah,
actually
I don't
happened.
remember this story.
Now, I will say they did blame the vid, which a lot of people do.
I
And
was
fair
like, the
point, I'm sure it
what?
did have
But I got it. COVID.
COVID. COVID, yeah. So on October 7th, 2019, Wade Stephen Wilson, what? I'm just gonna say it. Who cares at this point? How stupid. We're not even monetized. It
Oh, we
doesn't
can
matter.
say it?
He murdered these two women. Well, I mean,
I'm not going to.
at this
I'm not.
point, who
Just don't.
knows?
Don't do it.
Okay. Well, I already
Also,
did
if you
once,
would have
so
Googled Wade Stephen Wilson, you might not have gotten so many Deadpool hits. Just saying. Continue. Set on October 7th, 2019. I was just providing a tip for next time.
I feel like your feedback is
Warranted.
helpful, but okay. As helpful as it is, where the fuck was your feedback when I was trying to get
Would you
this
like me to
together?
provide my feedback through email? I'll send it later. Go ahead. You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so he committed the crime on October 7th,
Yes.
2019, where he had taken the lives of Christine Melton and Diane Roos or
I'd say
Reese.
Ruiz.
Ruiz? Okay. In Cape Coral, Florida. So have you been there?
Nope. Been to Florida, not Cape
Hmm.
Coral, Florida. No. So
Hey,
what?
maybe we could
Oh
go
yeah.
there. We could go
Is
visit.
there? Yeah, I like Florida, except for it's too hot. All right. So tell us about Christine first.
Yeah, so these murders happen on the
What?
same day. These two women are I'm
That's
sorry.
crazy. Sorry. Some of these facts I learned for the first time with all of the audience. So.
I didn't know if you were saying that because of the
Oh
word I
no.
used, and I immediately reacted to that. Thought you were censoring me.
Oh
I'm
no,
like,
I was
okay,
just I
whoa.
didn't put it together that they happened on the same day. So I you get my true reaction sometimes because I didn't make it that far down in the notes. Continue.
You didn't read that far? Great. Um, so these women do not know each other. These were not related, right? Other than the fact that it's the same person and all of that stuff. So that's what I thought at first was like it was something that happened or they personally knew each other. It is not the case. So the night prior to all of this, on the 6th of October, Wade met Christine at like a nightclub. What's it called?
Buddha, yeah.
Buddha. The Buddha nightclub. They ended up, I didn't like, I watched a couple of the interviews and I watched some of the testimony, but essentially they ended up, staying the night or whatnot. He stayed with her. The morning of everything of the 7th, her friend was getting ready to leave. I watched a little clip of her where she had described saying, she was getting ready to leave, said goodbye. Her friend had said Christine would have told her if she was not comfortable, didn't feel safe, any of those things while she was there still with Wade. She had not said that. Her friend left, and little did she know that during that time, almost as soon as she had left, based on the timeline of everything, Wade went in and took the life of
Isn't that
Christine.
kind of crazy that like you feel like you have a good sense of people and then you really don't?
Well, I mean, they just met this person too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how good of a sense can you have of someone when you've literally
I
just
have
met
a
them?
fantastic sense. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I'm like a dog.
That's it. You don't have anything to add to
I'm
that?
like
To
a
like
dog. A dog can sense people if they don't like you. If a dog doesn't like a person, you should trust the dog. That's how I.
What if it's an unfriendly dog?
Don't poke holes in. I feel like you're trying to get back at me for poking holes on you. Okay.
Get out of here
Yeah.
with that logic. So after Wade had done that with Christine, he then took her car and left.
Okay.
So,
So recap: met Christine at the club the night before, stayed the night,
mhm,
and then when the roommate left, Wade unalived Kristen, stole her car, and left. See, I do listen.
mhm. I never said you. When did
I
that
was
ever
just proving
happen?
to
What?
myself, but I do listen.
Oh, I'm like, who are you? Who are you? Who are you doing this for? um, so later in the morning, after he had
Unalived.
done all of that, and he's driving around in Christine's car, he finds Diane
Okay.
Ruiz. She's walking to work, is what is described. So she's walking to work. He pulls up and asks for directions to go. I
To
don't even remember
work.
where. Just ask for
Oh.
directions.
No, she was walking.
No, why would he need directions?
Well,
What?
I read it, but my thoughts got jumbled. She was walking to work, and he stopped for directions, but we don't
Yeah,
know to where. Yes, go ahead.
yeah. I would assume not to her
Or
work,
his work.
but
He should
maybe.
know where you are.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So he asked for directions. She ends up getting in the vehicle. I'm assuming offered for a ride or something like
Never
that.
a good idea.
And in that time frame, he ends up
Unaliving her.
strangling her. Yep. Or that. Much more appropriate way to say that. But when all of this happens, it turns out that he can hear that she's still breathing and then takes her out of the vehicle and proceeds to, well, you know.
Yes. I know, I don't know if we should say it, though.
Yeah, I don't think we need to, but you guys, gross. So after that happens, he's then at some point gets into contact with his ex-girlfriend, Mia Montez.
Just
Montez?
randomly?
Montez? No, I think that they had
Oh.
been in touch and, because they had been in a relationship before and
Okay, I got
it's
it.
seems very
Yeah.
toxic from the things that I was hearing, but they had met up at one point. He ends up assaulting her and tries to get her in the car, and she ends up getting away and ends up calling the police. Um, all of this stuff happens. Meanwhile, Wade is also making calls to his father.
His biological father or his adopted father?
Mhm. His
Okay.
biological father. So he's saying crazy things. His father is like, at first, he had said he didn't believe him. He didn't understand what he was talking about, all of those things. He was like, he's just a storyteller, whatnot. He's just getting attention. And then things started setting in. And then, from my understanding, his biological father and his ex girlfriend ended up working together with the authorities to set him up because once Wade's biological father realized that he was being serious and these things, he was saying were probably true, he decided he needed to get the authorities involved. And so Wade was asking him for an Uber to get him out of town. And he had said, okay, well, what's your address? So we can do that. Got it. And then gave it to the US Marshals.
That's smart.
Because I guess Wade was also trying to, get in touch with his ex girlfriend and all of these things. There is actual footage of him. I don't remember where it is. I don't remember if it was like a quick stop
It
gas
was a
station,
gas
something like that, where he had.
yeah,
Was it?
fact.
So he's at a gas station, and there was CCTV footage and stuff. He had told someone that he had done something bad. Apparently, the clerk was just totally like normal as he could, but you could see he was covered in blood. He was missing teeth, which Here's to hoping that it was from one of the one of
Yeah.
his victims. Terrible. Uh, but originally, he had admitted to police, the clerk, his father, all of these people that he had done this and committed these crimes. Maybe not in great detail necessarily. He did his biological father, but nonetheless, he had, in one way or another, admitted to all of this. So he later tries to say that he's being set up for this. He's not, he didn't do it, and it's just ridiculous, but he admitted to it. And it's obvious that he did do it.
So
But love to hear
so
your thoughts so far.
did they ever say any like motive behind what he did? Or is it just like
Nope, he just wanted to do it. Didn't, I mean, he had just met Christine. There was nothing I would think would be motivating enough to do that, right? And then the other woman, she was just walking. It was just a total random thing. Like he just I don't think there's making sense of it, to be
no,
honest.
it's I was reading an article that said this case was about killing for the sake of oops, I said it, of the killing. So no real motivation
Hmm.
behind it. Not
Yeah,
that that would make
he's
it
just a
better,
terrible
but
person.
sometimes
Yeah.
knowing
Yeah.
motive helps you process it. But
Yeah, his father actually had contacted the police, obviously multiple times, and had been cooperating with them and working with them. But he had said that specifically Wade told him he needed help. He had done something he couldn't take back. He told him he did something, and there was two people gone, and they would not be back. And he had said that he was a, you know, really bad
oh,
person. So I think that's all terrible things that he did, and I don't know.
so
I don't think these kind of people deserve to be on this
well,
planet,
speaking of
but
which,
who
it
am I?
says the jury voted 9-3 and then 10-2 for the death penalty. And his sentencing
Mhm.
is August 27th. And it's up to the judge. He
Yep.
should get the death penalty.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and I know that's controversial and some people don't think that we should have that or whatnot, but we do have it and it is an option. And I think if anybody is qualifying, it's this and Chester's, to be honest. But the pretrial and like the defense stuff that's really crazy is that this isn't an individual who is obviously has any redeeming qualities, considering the fact that he committed a bunch of crimes since he's been incarcerated. He's been locked up since the 8th of October
Yeah.
2019. So the very next day after all of these things happened, he was arrested and, you know, detained. He got caught up in a drug ring inside of prison. And he tried to say that it was like some type of crime ring or something that they couldn't find. It was just all everything pointing back to him for some Walter White
Oh,
substances. um, he also got a bunch of tattoos. So before all this happened, he didn't have all these face tattoos like Simone is, so graciously showing us how it looks a little bit. Some of them, not
no,
all of
some
them,
of them are
because
very
oh my gosh,
offensive.
yes, that's we don't do that around here. So all of the tattoos, all of that stuff. I mean, I personally seeing him in court, seeing the way he acts, of course, all of the other things included, his criminal history, all of that stuff. I think he's just a terrible person. I think he's just a
Did
waste
he
of human
show
life
any
because
remorse throughout the trial? Yeah,
nope,
that's
not at all. There have been behavior scientists and people that have looked at that and really pointed out the fact that he has had no remorse, does not care what's happened, none of that.
that's even
Doesn't nope.
that's the worst part of it. I think is that he doesn't take any accountability for any of it.
Well, and not only that, the defense, I mean, I get it. His defense team is there to defend him and do all of those things. But my problem with that is they tried to make this entire thing about him having some type of brain injury through all of these concussions and head injuries he had in the past. I, and I don't, I'm sorry.
Well, no,
I don't
and
buy it. I
he
really don't.
that I mean, there's other people that have brain injuries that don't go out randomly kill unalive 2 people.
Well, that ship has sailed. You already
I
said
stopped,
it.
I said the first 2 letter sounds.
Well, that's fair. Maybe no one will notice. No, but they had 2 for they had Dr. Mark Mills, the forensic psychiatrist, and Dr. Heim oh gosh, I'm a child. Dr. Hyman Eisenstein, who
That's a funny name.
what a name, you know? And he's a neurophysiologist. And both of them were talking about how he has impairment on his frontal lobe that impairs, executive functioning skills and, all of those. I
Well,
just
at least he actually got convicted and is getting sentenced, and it is not like the what's it called? Insanity plea? Where
yeah, they can't say it's
yeah.
because of the brain
So
injury
at least
or
he
something.
actually was brought to some form of justice.
Well, and the prosecution did, say that the CT scans did not show any fracture or brain injury, at least the ones that they did have, right? Like an MRI, as we said, would have shown even more things. But, he also had depressive disorder, bipolar disorder, like all of these things he was diagnosed with while he was incarcerated as well. It's like, so what are
Right.
those things from? Is that from the head injury? Like, was this before then, or is this now that he's in? Too many questions. There's too much variability. Also, knowing that he committed these crimes, I just don't like that.
No.
Mm.
Me either.
Ugh. I mean, not that any of this stuff is likable, right? It's all
It is
terrible.
terrible. My makeup smeared.
I noticed. That's what I'm like. Oh well, it lasted a bit. At least it's coming off, right? You got some big plans
Yeah.
later, so here's to hoping. Because if not, it's gonna be, oh, there you
I
go.
think if I
Yeah,
take a
you'll be
shower,
alright.
it'll come off.
I'll have to ask you to stay in character for the remainder of this recording. Thank you. So yes, we will, as Simone had said, we're gonna kinda keep up with this and see what's going on, but there was plans to have him actually sentenced, so not the conviction because he was already convicted of the crime, but the sentencing for his counts of first-degree murder, and oh, well, there it is again. Oh, well,
Yeah, it's on
suck it,
August
right?
27th.
So now it's August 27th because it was supposed to be July 23rd,
And what happened?
and then the defense was asking to postpone everything because of all they think something is gonna come up that just proves their case that he had something, in my opinion, and there's not gonna be any appeals to that, I don't think. I think it's gonna come down to him being convicted and sentenced to the death penalty.
Yeah, I think that it I'm interested to see what happens. Oh, yeah, this says
I would really like to
oh,
hear
sorry.
uh-oh, what
Well,
you find?
I just found a supporting document to what you just said, that they're trying to delay
Oh,
the, sentencing.
yeah, well, because they don't they're gonna look at it like the defense team has to do what they need to do. That's their job. Again, but just do it. You guys aren't gonna get
No.
anything for that, I don't think. I can't imagine. So, we would love to know your guys' thoughts,
Yes.
though. Hopefully, this was a fun little story. Well,
It's
sort
not
of.
fun,
Ugh, I
it's
don't know if I like
informational. People like true crime.
yes.
This is true crime.
Yeah.
I'm a tr
Hopefully, you guys like that, and hopefully the things we shared
I
are
think it
true.
is, you did the
They
research,
are.
so I have faith that your research was true.
Here, put that your stamp
Yeah,
of approval on that.
I think so. I feel comfortable.
So I know you had said last time that you didn't want to do any more promises around goodbyes, but you would do something. And I'm hoping that it would still be around the closing of the episode and not what you just appeared with at random today. I hope that's not it either. I feel like that's not,
I don't remember what I promised. Do you? You're here to hold me
nope,
accountable.
because it wasn't my
You're not you're
why
not
am I
being
here
a
to hold
true
you
loved
accountable? You
one
should hold you
and
accountable.
holding me accountable.
I have no card. I have no
You
laminated
still
card
never told
in
me if
my
I was your
possession.
loved one. We'll talk about this offline.
We'll take this offline, everybody. Don't worry about it. But we are actually going to. I know I forgot to post the Q&A thing, so we would
That's
have
rude.
possibly had questions. I don't remember
That's
everything.
not true.
Come on.
If anyone remembers everything, it's you.
No, we just did this entire episode, and not one time did you ask.
The light.
What are
See the
you
light?
doing? We did this whole episode, and not one question came up. You never thought to ask, like, "Hey, when's the Q&A stuff coming up?"
I
You
did
didn't remember.
remember. I was actually waiting till right now to bring it up, so I'm glad that you brought it up first.
It would have been great if you had brought this up, I don't know, partway through the week so I could
Oh.
have posted the Q&A.
Hey, I had 100% confidence that you had it all figured out and that you were gonna do it, so I didn't wanna, like, "Hey, Katie, you should do this," if you already were doing it.
Fine. Alright, fine. It's my fault. I will try to remember. It's not this app. It's
Oh.
not. It doesn't work on this one. I feel like we've been
What's
through this
on,
before.
teens?
Mhm. I think it is, 'cause it only does it for you. I think it's like an Apple thing. 'Cause you
I
got
do.
the apples,
Yeah.
remember? But we are gonna be back next week. I don't wanna make any promises around what we're actually gonna be featuring because Simone thinks that we should be what did you say?
Mysterious?
Didn't you say, like I don't remember. You had described it in a very odd way that I thought would be fun to share, but now I can't remember, so pointless, I
I don't
guess.
remember.
Well, you think on that. Maybe you'll remember next week. I doubt it, though. And again, thank you guys for coming back. Hopefully, you stuck around to this point. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Throw a comment in there. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if you want us to feature anything because we haven't committed 100% to anything yet. And I guess we'll be seeing you next week. Maybe your Monday will start off right with us.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
I can't stretch that far.